Tennessee gets the win over Texas A&M 20-13 with Josh Ward from Josh and Swain. I am Vince Ferrara. This is a different game, to kind of quote Josh Heupel. He's like, woo, some kind of game. A low-scoring game with Josh Heupel involved in that was strange. But defense, D. Williams, the difference. What were a couple of your biggest takeaways, Josh?
Yeah, Josh Heupel's known for his defensive prowess as a head coach. That's what most people think. I did think that Tennessee's defense would have to step up in this game, and I thought that it would be lower scoring. It was harder to come by yards than I expected in the pass game. The run game was terrific overall. The numbers are incredible. You don't often see a team win with more penalty yards than pass yards.
Yeah.
But Tennessee did it. So, yes, the defense deserves a ton of credit. Pressure that they were able to create against Max Johnson and Texas A&M. And then D. Williams flipped the game.
Yeah.
Landing the ball at the 1 for Tennessee, and then, of course, the touchdown return. He is a special player with the ball in his hands in the open field. And that changed everything. That Tennessee could have won the game if he doesn't score that touchdown, but Tennessee was able to take control of the game to win from there. So there's a lot to work on coming out of this. But last year or 2 years ago, Tennessee doesn't win this kind of game. That's a reminder of the progress of the defense. James Pierce Jr. is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
He changes the game in so many ways. He is in the head of offensive tackles because he is so good and so dominant. And Max Johnson was affected so many times because of what James Pierce was able to do.
Yeah. The improvement of this defense, I don't think anyone saw them be this much better. Are they perfect or dominant? I wouldn't say that, but man, they improved, I think, a lot more than anyone was expecting, which is, hey, if they can be a little bit better on defense and the offense is still close to where they were, then this can still be a really good team. Well, the offense, not as good, especially in the passing game, but the defense is much better.
Right. And there can be a disclaimer if you want. Well, Texas A&M's offensive line gave up a lot of pressure last week. Yeah, so Tennessee's defense was told, you better go do it again, and they did it.
Right.
And, think about earlier in the season, frustrations that existed with some of the plays by Kamal Hatton, and we know what happened against Florida. But the truth was also that he was going to be a starter, and he was going to be an important player for Tennessee at corner, and he has backed up that expectation that, hey, he can actually go out and make plays. So, a transfer we talked about during the offseason, Gabe Judy Lawley, was going to be really important for them to help shore up their corner position, and he has helped do that. So they lost Keenan Peely at linebacker. That was a big loss, but the defense has still risen to the occasion. So we'll see what happens next, but the defense had to do its job for Tennessee to have a chance to win and hold on at the end, and the defense did all that it was asked to do.
Well, remember last year we were talking about the secondary. Well, they can't stay healthy. Well, they've had Danico Slaughter out for most of 4 games now. Christian Charles had played. It's just they've still been banged up, but they're better. Big part of that too is that front. I mean, like you mentioned with James Pierce Jr. for sure, and others.
Tyler Barron, who spoke to the media after the game, he has taken his game to another level as well. He has played at a high level consistently, and Tennessee rotates a bunch of guys on the defensive line, and that has to make a difference in the second half of games as well. So, what we heard about in August of, there are more guys that they believe they can count on. They do trust James Pierce, and Joshua Jobs is going to factor in to go with some of the veterans who are coming back. That has been the case. They've dealt with injury on the interior. They didn't have Omar Norman-Lott, and he was an important player coming in. He's a quality interior defensive lineman. Didn't have him, but they got Simmons back a couple of weeks ago. He's taken snaps. They have more guys to count on, more guys to do their job, and that is a big reason that Tennessee picked up a win against Texas A&M.
Well, when D. Williams does that, I mean, really, that was his only touch, basically. Well, his 2 touches were downing the ball, and I guess fielding some kicks too, and then that punt return for a touchdown. I know a lot of people are like, well, that's why you need to play him on offense. Well, Jimmy Himes asked him in the postgame, have you lobbied to play on offense? And he said yes. And he said, I'll be ready when that time comes. And Jimmy's like, do you think it'll be soon? And he said yes. As you know, it's been reported that he has practiced there at offense, just hadn't played yet.
Yeah, so we'll see if he gets an opportunity sometime. This offensive performance will cause many people to say, we really want to see D. Williams on offense with what he did again in special teams and the struggles of the offense. And the offense does have good playmakers. Dylan Sampson, what Jalen Wright did, he doesn't have the same electric ability of D or Dylan. But Jalen Wright continues to lead the way with this running back group.
Yeah.
He's been terrific this season. That group overall, Jabari Small had a good game against Texas A&M. But D. Williams has special talent, which I've already said, and I'll say again. And people recognize that. I don't know if that is he getting his first offensive snap at Alabama? I don't know, because it's more than just getting a snap and getting out there and running a play. The offense has to run several plays with the way they run things, with tempo, and there's a lot that he has to learn and be prepared for.
Yeah.
But anybody who says, don't care, want him with the ball more, totally understand. You don't have to explain yourself.
And then, obviously we have to include the struggles of the passing game. And you mentioned it, more penalty yards, 115, than passing yards, 100. When does that happen in a Josh Heupel coached offense? The numbers overall are the worst they've been in Heupel's career as a head coach. But man, I knew they would miss Brew McCoy, and they had some inefficiencies and misses, but they missed him even more tonight. It was very evident.
Yeah, and it continues to be for a number of reasons why the passing game is not finding success. Ramel Keaton had a drop early. They've missed on deep passes.
Yep.
The interception in the end zone that Joe threw was just an awful play.
Yeah.
And some of his decisions plus pressure affected him. Texas A&M really good at creating pressure and did that a number of times against Tennessee, but it just hasn't been there. So it's obvious at this point the run game is going to lead Tennessee's offense, and it's difficult to find confidence in the passing game at this point. Going into this game, a lot of the week we talked about for Miami, Tyler Van Dyke had one 300-yard passing game so far in the season, and it was against Texas A&M. Jalen Milroe, not known for his elite pass skills, right? Has one 300-yard passing game. It was on the road at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
At home, with 2 weeks to get ready for the game, Joe Milton had 100.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, Josh Heupel lacks confidence in Joe Milton at times. You can show that in some of the play calling.
Yep.
So, yeah, it has to be better.
Yep. And we'll see if it changes. I mean, I know that's going to be a talking point, a frustrating part of it. They can't be one-dimensional too much longer. There's going to be games where they're just not going to get away with it, and maybe it's next week. We'll find out. And, oh, by the way, Tennessee has to show that they can handle a road environment, because the last three really hostile road environments, they have not operated really well. At least Cooper Mays is there, but they got to figure this out here in the next week.
If today's game were in College Station, I don't think the Vols are coming back to Knoxville with the win.
Yep.
Obviously, there's no way to know that, but the point would be the crowd was a factor. And I think as the game went along and the D. Williams played, changed a lot of things too. But the crowd was really into it in the second half, and with the lead to protect and stepping up for the defense, it just all worked together. It's going to be the opposite from a crowd standpoint in Tuscaloosa. And then the following week going to Lexington. So, yeah, Tennessee on the road, it's the next big test.
Speaking of which, crowd was awesome again tonight, and it was cool they got a W with Eric Berry being honored. Man, what a class act, one of the best ever. And you could tell he talked to the team, and he impacted them.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Eric Berry. I thought so highly of him as a recruit when he played at Tennessee, as a pro, and only part of that is because of what he was as a player, just off the field, what he meant to so many people, and that goes both ways. We talked about that a lot this week. He cared so much about Tennessee, and he knew it, but he got to see again this weekend how much so many people care about him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, what do you know? A Tennessee football game, and we have a lot to discuss to break that down afterwards. Josh and Swain will do it for you noon to 3 all next week, and then John Wilkerson and I will have it on Sports Talk from 6 to 9 a.m. Of course, the Eric Gaines Show from 9 a.m. to noon with Brian Rice, and then Tyler and Will from 3 until 7, and then Tim and Jimmy on Sunday morning with Sunday Sports Sound Off and everything else to break it down and get ready for Alabama week. Pretty intense in Tuscaloosa. That's Josh Ward. I am Vince Ferrara. Follow us on all our socials at SportsAnimal991, our website 991thesportsanimal.com. Of course, you can download the app and listen to us wherever you happen to be. Jay Ward, have a great night.
Yep, thank you.
I appreciate it. For Josh Ward, I'm Vince Ferrara. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you next week. See ya.